Okay, three more concepts that you need to know: pre-tests, pilot tests, and post-tests. What are these three? So let's start with the first one, and that is what we call pre-test. It has three different test routes. Okay, so you can test a creative concept, you can test a campaign theme, and you can test the copy in your research. Okay, so this really is a detailed study of your target audience and the brand. And this test is going to help us figure out if an idea, before the final execution, if the idea is going to be accepted or rejected. So really it focuses a lot on the target audience, right? We want to understand what are the different tastes of the public, and we have to plan our work accordingly. Really gives you this final opportunity, so to speak, to check if the original idea is still coming through and if the ad is resonating with the intended audience. So, for an agency doing this work, it helps them optimize the campaign before they go into that tedious process of production. As soon as things are approved, then the campaign would run on different platforms, right? But let's say, for example, they want to test if the concept itself is working. This is a good time to do it before you spend all that money on all those different media to run the ad. You test if the concept is a good concept. You test the actual text of the ad, if people are understanding that, right? We talked about advertising copy research in one of our other videos, and so that's what this is: making sure that the text is working. And then if you have a concept and you want to run it across all different campaigns, all different ads of the campaign, then you want to make sure that that concept is a good concept, right? So that is what we call pre-testing research. And some of it also maybe it's called like A/B testing, testing two things to see if one particular idea works better than the other idea. So they could do A/B testing in the pre-testing as well if they want to test a concept. But so that's pre-testing. The second one is pilot testing. So you have a product, it's ready in its final form, but before launching it nationwide, you say, you know what? I need to pilot the idea. I want to choose a couple markets, pilot markets, and I want to launch this ad in those markets. Okay. So that is what a pilot test is, right? Let's launch it in, let's say, one area, and let's see how it goes. Should we fix mistakes? If there are any mistakes, yep, that's the time to do it. Once that ad is launched, you kind of figure out where you went wrong. If there's a way to fine tune something, you would fine tune it. You may have to fine tune the channel in which you're broadcasting this ad, for example. Okay, so that is pilot test. The other one that you see there is called split messaging. Okay, sometimes you have a couple different audiences and you want to see which ad will work with which audience. Okay, you may want to even change up the messaging to see if something's going to work better. So sometimes you want to appeal to more than one audience, but want to see which ad will um, most affect which audience, right? And so you create different ads and you see what happens next. Okay, so that is what we call split messaging. The last one that you see there is post test. This is when the ad's already run or the campaign itself has run, and you want to see how it did. Okay. So there are many ways to do this. One is when the ads are running, you throw in a coupon in there, right, on the ad itself, or a 1-800 number or something. So then there is a way we can sort of, it's like an experiment, right? So you're trying to conduct, an experiment in this field, and you either have an inquiry form that is related to the brand, and you have customers fill that, or and you ask them actually, what do they think about the brand and the ads, things like that. If you have a coupon in there, that's if somebody uses a coupon, that's a great way to know that they are trying the product, right? In that sense, the ad has been successful. Okay. You have split runs, which basically it's a comparison testing between two or more ads in the same position and publication. And each ad is reaching a comparable group of people. And it's a great way to see which one was most successful. Um, and the third one you see there is recall test, which basically means, people are asked, to recall what they saw the day before, and try to figure out, um, do they remember it? Do they recall it? Is the recall aided? Is the recall unaided? How successful was that particular commercial or video that they may have seen the day before? So that's another kind of test that we do. And then the last one there is sales test, which is simply, to figure out if there was a bump in sales after somebody watched a commercial. Okay, so this is basically like post testing research. Um, most companies, most big ad agencies, they tend to do this post study once they launch, a brand, or launch ads, for a brand. And the idea really is to see if the ad has been successful in creating or increasing the awareness of the brand or the service of the client. And in the end, we want to see if people were influenced, right? That is the determination in the end, and this is why we do this research. Really, this post testing stuff is very important, um, and it helps us monitor the performance of the brand, including the awareness of the brand, including the preferences um, of the customers, how they use the brand, what is their attitude toward the brand. It's a great tracking process. Sometimes it happens in waves. So if you want to see, a brand lift, that is an industry term that we use. We want to see when look at wave one, which was before the brand was launched, and then you have wave two during the time that the ads are going on, and then wave three after our ad campaign is over, to see if there was a brand lift, if people's perception of the brand changed, if people ended up buying that brand. Those are the kinds of research projects that are quite popular, after or during an ad campaign. So because we each person needs to know if the advertising was successful. Obviously the client wants to know because they paid money for it, and then the advertisers want to know because the ad agency wants to know because they want to prove that their ads certainly impacted the brand's performance, right? And that would help them get more business. So this is something that's extremely important to go through those pre-tests and pilot tests and post tests as you see on this slide here.